everyone and welcome to my new video. This is Blazing Lasers on the PC Engine / Turbo Grafx 16. This game is absolutely awesome. It's one of the, dare I say it, most playable, entertaining, enjoyable, vertically scrolling shooters I've played in a long time. Incredibly, this came bundled with the Turbo Grafx 16 console, and it seems quite a rarity, one would think, that one of the, such a really good, impressive game would actually come bundled with the game's console itself. Now, I can't say as to whether or not that was the case with the PC Engine, or whether that was the case with all of the Turbo Grafx 16 consoles, but certainly the one that I got in Europe, it came with it, and it's bloody impressive. It's really playable. As is typical with these kind of games, there's loads of different power-ups to get, there's loads of different weapons, and the one thing I sort of noticed as well is that, unlike a lot of the old school shooters which absolutely annihilate you virtually from the word go, I mean, the moment you get into the game you're under the cosh and it becomes like a bullet hell type game. This one doesn't. It actually eases you in. You actually get to enjoy the game before you become inundated with absolutely stack loads of bullets flying at you from all different angles. And it makes a big difference, and it makes the game much more enjoyable. So many of these type of games end up being spoilt by the fact that they just become ridiculously difficult, and I can't as honestly say that's the case with this one. I mean, at first I was somewhat concerned that it was going to be too easy, but there is, the difficulty does ramp up somewhat as the game goes on. There is a challenge there to be had, but I mean, it's nowhere near as impossible as some games of this genre that I've played, where you just think to yourself, without the aid of a cheat mode or something like that, you're in a world of crap. And I think partly the reason why it's not the case with this game is because you do get a lot of weapon power-ups thrown at you almost continuously. With a lot of other games, it tends to be that only certain bad guys in a particular wave will give you any kind of weapon power-up at all. To give an example, if you play 1943 or games of that type, there tends to be only a certain planes or enemy ships or whatever that dispense out power-ups, and they can be quite infrequent. But with this game, it does seem to be at times that you can have quite a number of weapon systems flying down the screen at you, and the challenge can quite often be trying to stick with a weapon that you like without accidentally picking up something that makes for a worse weapon. On top of that, you get deflector shields and your little sort of satellite weapon things like you can see here that I've got. You get all manner of different stuff. I mean, I wouldn't even have the first clue as to what all the different weapons do and what have you. I tend to find ones that I like and stick with them. Now, I have to say that I've come across this peculiar thing that tends to happen with a lot of videos that I make. If there's any sort of graphics that have any kind of flicker in them, when I'm actually making these videos, the flicker doesn't tend to show up, and that's why the laser there looks like it's incomplete. When I'm actually playing it in the game proper, that laser has sort of like a flicker effect to it, which obviously when I've recorded it on the video capture device it doesn't pick up. That's why it looks a bit weird then. It doesn't look like that when you're playing the game properly. But there's an example. I mean, I actually thought that was an end of level bad guy, and I don't actually think it was. I think it was like well, yeah, it was at area 1 clear, but the areas themselves are quite massive. I mean, I've edited out quite a number of them, to be honest, and you do get sort of intermediary bad guys as well, like half stage bosses, I guess, what have you. But yeah, I mean, it's so playable, and it's just well worth it. I mean, if you have got a PC Engine or a TurboGrafx 16, I think on the PC Engine it goes by a different name, so you need to watch out for that, because some of you may already have it, but under actually a different name. But on the TurboGrafx it was called Blazing Lasers. It's well worth checking out if you've not got it, because honestly I had such a blast playing this. I mean, literally just sitting down and recording the footage for the video, I was playing this for a long time. You know, I've used virtually, well, very little of the footage that I recorded I've actually put into the video, because the video would have been probably the best part of an hour long, and I don't think I need to put a video up that long to show how good the game is. So yeah, it is definitely worth checking out if you haven't got it. But like I say, I mean, it came bundled with the TurboGrafx 16 console that I got, so it was a cracking way. Just interestingly enough is how few games consoles these days actually do that. It used to be quite commonplace when you bought a games console that it would come with a game, and now obviously they try to keep costs down. They don't tend to bundle any games with it, unless of course if you're buying it from an outlet store like Game or wherever, they tend to offer their own promotions. But in the past it used to be based on the manufacturer. You know, the Mega Drive was quite famous for it. It originally came with Altered Beast, and then there was the Sonic the Hedgehog packs and stuff like that. These type of promo packs used to be very commonplace, but you don't tend to see that as much now. As I say, it just tends to be the actual place where you buy it from does its own promos and will chuck games in. And it seems quite bizarre when you think about it, because nobody's going to buy a games console and not get any games for it. It does seem somewhat strange that concept, that idea, fell by the wayside, especially when you bear in mind that, you know, the whole, you know, the likes of Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo got some, you know, pretty good first-party games. I know they do tend to do special consoles, like they'll do a special edition Gears of War and stuff like that, but I'm just kind of talking about release consoles, just consoles in general. It just seems a strange concept to me. Anyway, this is Blazing Lasers on the TurboGrafx 16 PC Engine, and thank you for watching.